This guy threw away his $75 million in trash, and this entire country was still regretting the mistake made by its leader for 67 years. The 10 most expensive mistakes ever made. The mistakes in this world that were realized were too late. You too will be surprised to hear. And the last one is still regretting it. If you are new on our Facts channel, so subscribe our Facts YouTube channel for more informative videos. Number 10. You all know that Yahoo got a chance to buy Google, but he refused because at that time the world's most searched site was Yahoo. In 1999, Yahoo.com got an offer to buy Google for $1 million, but the CEO of Yahoo rejected to buy Google, and it was the biggest mistake of his life. Because in today's date, Google has a market value of $280 billion and the most visited website in the world. Number 9. In 2014, France ordered 1,800 new trains from the SNCF company worth $20.5 billion. But the government gave wrong dimensions to the company and trains became little bit wider from the old stations. The government measured 30-years-old railway stations, but most of the stations were made 50 years ago, and here they made a huge mistake. After that, faced a loss of $68.4 million to reconstruct the old railway stations according to the new trains, which was a great folly. And a very huge mistake. 8. London Millennium Bridge. The famous London Millennium Footbridge was started to be constructed in 1998 and officially opened in June 2000. The bridge was completed at a cost of £18.2 million. The engineers of the bridge focused on the design, gravitational force, and sea level. But they forget about the force exerted by people walking on the bridge. On its opening day, thousands of people came to experience the new bridge, but the bridge started swaying motion. The bridge was eventually closed for that day and then for the next 2 years to make modifications and keep it stable. And the company faced $6.3 million huge loss. It is one of the most expensive mistakes ever made. 7. A $1 million typo by Alitalia. In 2006, Alitalia Airlines faced a huge loss of $7.7 million due to its silly mistake. Back in 2006, the cost of business class on a flight from Toronto to Cyprus was around $3,900, but Alitalia Airlines misprinted it for just $39, so nearly 2,000 people booked their tickets. At first, the airline refused to continue the tickets, but later they accepted the tickets for $39. As I said above, you won't believe that due to such a silly mistake the company lost around $7.7 million. This was the biggest expensive mistake made by any airline ever in human history. 6. The $1 million decimal error. Back in the time, a submarine was being constructed for the Spanish Navy, but that submarine never worked for the Spanish Navy. The fixed weight for the submarine was around 7.7 tons, but one of the engineers made a mathematical mistake, or the decimal point error. The engineer removed decimals from the number and printed the weight for around 77 tons. After the mistake was recognized, the Spanish government faced a loss of $11 million to recover. But even after that, the submarine never worked and around $6.3 billion was wasted. 5. Never throw away your Bitcoin. In 2009, a man named James Howell owned 7,500 Bitcoins, but he threw away the hard disk of his computer with his Bitcoins. In 2013, Bitcoin came in popularity and more people started investing in Bitcoin. In 2013, the price of his 7,500 Bitcoins was around $3.5 million, and as of 2020, the price of his 7,500 Bitcoins was around $70 million. This was the biggest mistake made by him, and he might cry daily in any corner of his house. 4. The lottery. Back in 2010, a woman living in central England bought a lottery ticket and waited for the results. When results were declared, she did not feel happy even though she won a lottery of $183 million. This is the biggest lottery prize ever. She did not feel happy because her husband threw the lottery ticket in the dustbin just one day before the results were declared. Have you ever thought that a company like NASA could make a $125 million mistake, that too in space? No, so it happened. In 1999, NASA launched Mars Orbiter space mission, and the directions to the satellite was given in meters and kilometers, but Lockheed Martin Aerospace Company gave directions in feet and inches, and as a result, the satellite was disturbed from its path and lost in space. In this project, NASA's $125 million was wasted. $2 million stock market typo. On December 12, 2005, a great person made a very good mistake. The JCOM Company 1 stock price was around 610,000 yen, but a person in the Mizuho Company of Japan sold 610,000 stocks in 1 yen. How did he make such a great mistake? Really unbelievable. Due to this mistake, the company faced a huge loss of around $225 million. Now the last mistake that a big country like Russia did and is still regretting. Gold mine for sale. In 1867, Russia thought their land area had increased and it was difficult to control such a large area. So the government of Russia decided to sell 1.72 million square kilometers to the USA for a price of $7.2 million. But this was the biggest mistake made by Russia, because today that land is called Alaska and has gold mines, natural gas, and oil of a market value of around $200 billion.